our eternal God. Though many of the values in our culture are out of harmony with biblical values, we are to continue to reflect God's eternal power and glory in all that we do. Here now is Gene Getz.
And that relates to the fact that the glory did depart from Israel. And yet, God's power did not depart. Though it impacted the way in which people lived and what happened, still God's power was still present. God still exists regardless of our failure, and God's power still exists regardless of our failure. And we see this happening here in this story. It's rather humorous in some respects. But in 1 Samuel 6, 1 and 2, we read, "When the ark of the Lord had been in the land of the Philistines for 7 months, the Philistines summoned the priests and the diviners and pleaded, 'What should we do with the ark of the Lord? Tell us how we can send it back to its place.'" And to fill in the gap, if you go back into the context, when the Philistines won over Israel and defeated them in a horrible way, stole the ark of God, they actually took the ark and put it in their pagan worship place, along with Dagon, who was just an idol. And it's fascinating because the next morning, Dagon, where the ark was, next to where he was, this false god, fell over, put him back in place, and it happened again. This time he crumbled. And they could see that there's something wrong here, and there's some power that they're dealing with. And then the next thing happens is they get all these tumors throughout the city of Ashdod. So what do? They send the ark to Gath, which was another Philistine city. Same thing happens. And those people get tumors. So they send it on to Ekron, which is another Philistine city. Same thing happens. So that's the context leading up to verses 1 and 2 in chapter 6, where we read, again, when the ark of the Lord had been in the land of Philistine for 7 months, going from city to city, with all these things happening, the Philistines had enough. They summoned the priests. They summoned the diviners. They pleaded, "What should we do with the ark of the Lord? Tell us how we can send it back to its place." God's power was still there. The eternal God was still there. And so, basically, we read that they sent messengers to the residents of Kiriath Jearim, that is the Philistines, saying, "The Philistines have returned the ark of the Lord." Actually, this is a group of Israelites who reported this. "The Philistines have returned the ark of the Lord. Come down and get it." And so they did. The men of Kiriath Jearim came for the ark of the Lord, took it to Abinadab's house on the hill. They consecrated his son Eleazar to take care of it. So here we have God's power at work within the culture, even though in some respects the glory had departed from Israel. But God was still powerful, and he demonstrated that with the Philistines and what we see in those cities. Here's a statement about Israel which is very important. God uses Israel to reveal himself. That's what we see here. That was God's plan. In the Old Testament, God chose Israel to reveal to the pagan world that he's the one true God. And even when they failed to obey his laws, he still revealed his glory. And we see that here in the Philistine territory. It wasn't God's ideal plan. He wanted to reveal his glory through Israel. But the glory had departed from Israel. And yet, through the ark in the Philistine territory, he still revealed that he was God. He was still even reaching out to these pagans through the foreign god, this pagan god, Dagon, falling. He's trying to give them a message. He's trying to give them a message with the tumors. He's trying to say, I am God. Even though my people have failed, I am still God. And so we see a reflection of the eternal God. Now, in the New Testament, God has chosen us as the church to reveal his glory. In 1 Corinthians 10, 31 to 33. Therefore, whether you eat or drink, Paul wrote to the Corinthians, or whatever you do everything for what? God's glory. He wants to reveal his glory through his church. Give no offense to the Jews or the Greeks or the church of God. It's interesting, in the Old Testament situation, they gave offense. Israel gave offense to the Philistines and the other pagans through their disobedience. Yet God revealed his glory. But God's plan for us, as it was for them, give no offense to the Jews or the Greeks or the church of God. That's our fellow believers. Just as I also try to please all people in all things, not seeking my own profit, but the profit of many, that they may be saved. And that was God's message, his planned message to Israel. He wanted to reveal his glory. But even though they failed him, he still continued to reach out and reveal his glory. And we see that illustrated in this particular situation. So the principle really reads, though many of the values in our culture are out of harmony with biblical values, we are to continue to reflect God's eternal power and glory in all that we do. And so the question is, in what specific ways should all of us as Christians encourage one another to reveal God's glory in the way we live our lives from day to day? And we could spend a lot of time on that, but basically we need to encourage one another. We are to gather together to encourage one another as we see the day approaching, so that we will be what God wants us to be, revealing his glory. We're to teach and admonish one another. We are to build up one another. We are to pray for one another. We're to model Christ to each other. And we could go on and on and on in terms of all the things that we are supposed to do according to the will of God in order to enable all of us together to reveal the glory of God. He wants to reveal himself through us. And that's why Jesus prayed for unity and oneness, that we love one another, so that the world will see Christ in us. And in seeing Christ in our unity, they will understand that Jesus Christ came from God. That was Jesus' prayer when he prayed for the apostles and us. And prayed, Father, I pray that they'll be one as we are one, so the world will believe that you have sent me. See, God wants to reveal his glory, the glory of Jesus Christ, through us. Now, when he first came, it says that the Word became flesh, John wrote, and we beheld his glory, the glory of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. But once Jesus went back to heaven, we become the means by which he wants to reveal his glory. And that's God's plan. That was God's plan for Israel, and they failed. But God didn't give up revealing his glory. He revealed his glory through Jesus. He wants to reveal his glory through the church. And even though the church may fail, God ultimately will reveal his glory. Unfortunately, in many respects, according to the book of Revelation, it will be through judgment. God will reveal his glory, that he is God, our eternal God.